Hello everyone, with Jamaica here. Welcome to this updated video on the weather across Jamaica and the rest of the Caribbean. It is Thursday evening, August 10th, 2023. Now before we jump into it, please ensure that you guys like the video, share it, subscribe and tap the notification bell so that you'll be notified every time I post a brand new video. Feel free to leave a comment down in the comment section letting me know what the weather has been like in your area recently. Also, feel free to ask any weather related question that you might have about the future of the weather in your specific area. I respond to all comments and I really live for this stuff. Alright, so let us take a look at the surface map of the Atlantic for this evening. We can still see that we have a ridge of high pressure that's responsible for sending all of those tropical waves from Africa into the Caribbean, all courtesy of that easterly flow of trade winds brought about by that high pressure. We can see that across the Caribbean we have two tropical waves, one right now to the west of Jamaica and one that's affecting portions of Hispaniola at this time. We can also still see that we have those two tropical waves that we mentioned that are across portions of the main development region. If we take a look at the visible satellite images before the sun went down, we can see that that tropical wave definitely brought some amount of clouds, showers, and thunderstorms to sections of especially western Jamaica during the afternoon today. And we can see that that other tropical wave that's affecting portions of Puerto Rico, the Dominican Republic, and Haiti at this time is pushing its way more towards the north than westward. Hopefully, we get in on some of that rainfall tomorrow. We can also see the clouds associated with those other tropical waves across the main development region right there, stretching all the way from Africa into the central portions of the main development region. We'll be talking more about the weather across the Caribbean later on. Let's focus our attention on the prediction that was made in yesterday's video about the weather across Jamaica for today, Thursday. It was stated that we would have received some rainfall on Thursday afternoon across sections of some eastern, central, and western parishes in Jamaica. And what ended up happening? As early as even 1 p.m. today, we had a buildup of clouds that started, and then our last post was about 3:55 p.m. where we highlighted the infrared satellite images showing clouds bringing thunderstorms to sections of some eastern, central, and western parishes in Jamaica. So it started out at first in portions of Upper St. Andrew, sections of Western Portland, St. Mary, St. Anne, sections of Trelawney, sections of Clarendon, Manchester, St. Elizabeth, sections of maybe Southern St. James, Hanover, and Westmoreland definitely got in on some of that thunderstorm activity. And we even have confirmation from our followers on our Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook pages confirming the rainfall that took place. Chirpy stating welcome showers here in Meadowbrook Estate. Chevy stating finally it's our turn. Then another post. Stacy and Blair stating rain and thunderstorms in May Pen. Then Maurice Campbell stating raining in Falmouth, and he even sent in a nice picture showing the overcast skies and the rainfall that he had in his section of Florida. And even on our Instagram page, we had that comments with those comments coming in. Nicole Simone stating pouring in Kingston, and unapologetic lioness stating give thanks for the drizzle over by stadium side. Would I love little more but happy still. Simret Selassie stating nice piece of rain, Kingston 6 finally. On our Facebook page, we had Lara Ibang stating we're getting a lovely well needed shower here in my neck of Kingston. Shade Birmingham Bridge Manhen stating wish it was St. Catherine. Shanique stating Rangers start in Mapen Clarendon. Shawnee stating raining in St. Andrew. And even on our other post we had Fiona stating raining in St. Elizabeth, Stacy and stating it's raining here in St. Anne. So that indeed confirms the rainfall. And even if we take a look at the See Jamaica live cam of Crossroads, when we actually look to the north, what time is this? This was about 1:19 p.m. today. And we saw that we didn't have much in the way of wet weather across Crossroads at that time. But we can see that if we look to the north, we saw those clouds that produced that afternoon thunderstorm across sections of the hills of St. Andrew, even some lightning flashes in there as well. So definitely Northern St. Andrew got in on some of that rainfall, and that was about 1:19 p.m. Skipping ahead to about 1:40 p.m., we saw that when we took a look at the halfway tree camera, those clouds started to spread into portions of halfway tree. So they definitely gotten on some amount of rainfall. We can see people running, trying to get to shelter, some with umbrellas, lots of windshield wipers going off. Definitely some wet weather took place across portions of the corporate area for today. And if we take a look at the visible satellite images of Jamaica before the sun went down, we can see what indeed took place. We had more of an east to slightly kind of east southeasterly flow of winds with those low level clouds pushing towards the west, and as usual, we had that daytime heating that contributed to more in the way of some afternoon convection, especially across some central and western parishes. And we see that even better on the infrared satellite images where we usually have those sparkling white dots. Let's see if we can reload the images to get the latest, so we can see exactly what's taking place right now. So we can see that it's starting to dissipate across portions of eastern Jamaica, but we do see some more sparkling white dots across sections of some southern parishes. So maybe there's still some amount of thunderstorms taking place across sections of Manchester, Clarendon, and southern St. Elizabeth at this time. If we take a look at the Cuban Doppler radar images, we know that we have to be depending on the Cuban Doppler radar site. We know the Doppler radar images show the actual rainfall as opposed to satellite images that show cloud cover. And we can have cloud cover over an area and not necessarily rainfall. So we can see those greens that represent moderate rainfall, the yellows that represent strong rainfall. And we do see some strong rainfall right there across southern St. Elizabeth, sections of Manchester, Clarendon, just like what we saw in the satellite images. We can see that yes, we indeed had some amount of rainfall into sections of St. Catherine right now, sections of Trelawney, St. James, sections of St. Thomas gotten on some amount of rainfall, even spilling into eastern Portland at this time. And if we take a look at the Caribbean Institute for Meteorology and Hydrology website, we can see the accumulated precipitation for the past 24 hours, and majority of this rain took place in the afternoon up to this point. So we can see that rainfall across eastern Jamaica that's taking place right now, and the rainfall across sections of some central and western parishes that took place earlier today and still affecting portions of the island right now. So this indeed confirms the rainfall, even although it's not 100% accurate with the where. It does indeed paint a picture that yes, we indeed had some amount of rainfall across the island for today. Let us take a look at the temperatures right now. We can see that we have 80 degrees Fahrenheit in both Montego Bay and Kingston at this time, and that's about the equivalent of 26 degrees Celsius. Taking a look at the temperature forecast for tomorrow, we can see more in the way of some yellows across the island for 18th on Friday. That's actually 1 p.m. on Friday. Yellows are, and that represents up to 1 degree Celsius above normal temperatures when we look at the key on the right hand side. And we know that the average temperatures for the month of August in Jamaica is about 91 degrees Fahrenheit. That's about the equivalent of 32 degrees Celsius. So if we should be receiving at least 1 degree Celsius above normal temperatures for tomorrow, that should be anywhere from 32 to 33 degrees Celsius at most. If we take a look at the dry air map, we know that the dry air is represented by the yellows, and it gets more intense as it becomes orange, red, and the whites within those reds. And we can see the most intense Saharan dust right there across the northwestern portions of Africa, or in the waters northwest of Africa. We can see that the dry air is located to the south of Jamaica as indicated by those yellows. Not so much dry air taking place across Jamaica at this time. However, as it relates to the Saharan dust forecast, we can see that this map is showing 2 p.m. on Friday. And we can see a lot of Saharan dust right there across portions of the eastern to central Caribbean. Some of this is going to be spilling into Jamaica by Saturday, but we're indeed grateful that we're not getting a robust plume of dust. We know the robust or the vigorous plumes of dust are represented by those darker shades of brown that we see across portions of the waters to the northwest of Africa at this time. And as usual, as these plumes of dust move westward, they will be, losing their vigor. They'll be, less in intensity by then. So hopefully no hazy skies, hopefully no asthma or sinusitis being triggered, any respiratory illnesses at all. Let us take a look at the wave forecast for tomorrow. Much of the same like what we've been receiving all week. Up to 1.5-meter wave heights, especially on the south and eastern side of the island. And we see that on both the Euro and the GFS. And that's due to the fact that the winds are going to be coming in from the east, averaging up to 20 knots at most. We know the 20 knot winds are represented by those green colors, as indicated by the key at the bottom right. And the winds seem to be coming in more from the east southeast for tomorrow. And as usual, wherever we have those blues, that's where we have the least amount of winds. And as usual, we have those cumulus clouds piling up and becoming cumulonimbus clouds. And then, the afternoon convection taking place, showers and thunderstorms as usual. And that's going to be confined to central and western Jamaica, especially northern Jamaica, as we see that east southeasterly flow pushing everything off towards the north and west of the island. And with the wind shear coming in from the east for tomorrow, that's gonna be bringing more overcast sky showers and thunderstorms, especially across sections of some western parishes in Jamaica. However, if we take a look at the precipitation forecast for tomorrow, the rain forecast, we know the blues represent the rainfall. The euro, as we see here, is showing lots of blues that represent rainfall across sections of eastern and central Jamaica by what time is this? This is 8 a.m. Jamaica time. But I don't believe that. Look at what the GFS is showing. The GFS is showing more of those blues across eastern Jamaica. That's about St. Thomas and Portland right there. And we see the consensus that yes, the GFS is showing something similar there, but not so much with what it's showing across central Jamaica, where we see those blue shaded across sections of St. Anne, St. Catherine, or Clarendon. It makes more sense to believe what both of them are showing. That's where the consensus is. So St. Thomas and Portland definitely for 8 a.m. Jamaica time. This is showing 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's about 8 a.m. Jamaica time. Skipping ahead to about a couple hours later, this is 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is actually 12 p.m. Jamaica time. And look at the blue starting to spread on both the Euro and the GFS malls. Eastern, Central, and Western Jamaica, especially Northern Jamaica, where we see those darker shades of blues. Look at that, sections of St. Mary, St. Trelawney, sections of Western St. Elizabeth, sections of Westmoreland, Hanover, St. James. Definitely have those darker shades of blues across sections of St. James, Trelawney, Hanover. Definitely going to be getting in on some amount of rainfall for tomorrow on the northern side of the island with that east-south easterly flow. But we still are going to be receiving some rainfall across eastern Jamaica. So St. Thomas and Portland definitely in for some more rainfall. And we see much of the same happening at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is actually 3 p.m. Jamaica time. We see more of the same. So eastern, northern, and western Jamaica definitely going to be in for that rainfall for Friday. If we take a look at the accumulated precipitation forecast, there is a bit of disagreement with the where, but definitely Jamaica is going to be getting in on some amount of rainfall. The Euro is showing at most zero point 0.6 of an inch of rainfall. That's right there across eastern Jamaica. Euro is the Euro was showing zero point 0.6 of an inch of rainfall. The GFS is showing the most that I see here is about 0.83 of an inch of rainfall. We see that on the north coast right there. So there's definitely some rainfall in store for section of the island for tomorrow. And we're indeed grateful that we're going to be getting in on that rainfall. Considering that we're in the month of August, we usually receive close to 100 millimeters of rainfall in Kingston and close to 7 inches of rainfall in Montego Bay. Hopefully, all of this rainfall puts some kind of a dent in the hydrological drought that we're currently experiencing across the island. And hopefully, the tropical wave doesn't, bring all the rainfall, all the moisture out to Hispaniola, Haiti, Dominican Republic, and then possibly move north like what it has been doing all along. Like what most of the tropical waves have been doing all along. Hopefully, we actually get some moisture in from that tropical wave. Alright, so that's it for the forecast across Jamaica. Let's focus our attention on the rest of the Caribbean. So we can see that yes, we indeed have some amount of clouds coming into sections of Venezuela, Trinidad, sections of Hispaniola, Puerto Rico, all courtesy of the tropical wave, and it's coming into sections of the Turks and Caicos as well. We can see that sections of Florida definitely gotten on some afternoon convection today, sections of Venezuela as well. If we take a look at the Doppler radar images of the northeastern Caribbean, we can see where we had that rainfall today. Not so much widespread rainfall, but that tropical wave definitely did a number on southwestern Puerto Rico and eastern Dominican Republic. Maybe some flash flooding taking place today as well, and some one or two spotty or passing showers to sections of Guadeloupe, Antigua and Barbuda, the US and British Virgin Islands as well. As relates to the weather, we have Doppler radar images, the Barbados radar showing some rainfall to the north and south of Barbados, not across Barbados at all. Most of that rainfall coming into sections of Martinique, sections of St. Lucia, especially the eastern side, sections of St. Vincent, maybe southern St. Vincent and the Grenadine Islands, sections of Grenada, sections of Tobago getting in on some of that rainfall, even sections of Trinidad getting in on some rainfall right now as well. As relates to the weather, if we have Doppler radar images, we can see that there is quite an outage taking place across most of these sites. We see most of the rainfall though across sections of Colombia, sections of Florida, and sections of southern Cuba. If we take a look at the temperature forecast for tomorrow, we can see that we're still in for much of the same, with above normal temperatures stretching from the eastern Caribbean into the western Caribbean, and the most above normal temperatures seem to be right there across the Gulf of Mexico into sections of Texas. As relates to the Saharan dust forecast, we see much of the same, more in the way of Saharan dust across the eastern and central Caribbean for 2 p.m. on a Friday, as indicated by those brown shades. Hopefully, that more vigorous plume of dust, as indicated by those darker shades of brown right there off the coast of Africa, dissipates by the time it gets to the Caribbean. But this is going to be the forecast for tomorrow, 2 p.m. on a Friday. Hopefully, we don't see much in the way of hazy skies. Hopefully, we don't have anybody's respiratory illnesses, asthma, sinusitis being triggered. As relates to the wave forecast for tomorrow, much of the same, up to 1.5-meter wave heights being experienced across the Caribbean region. And that's due to the fact that we're going to be receiving more in the way of 20-knot winds. The highest winds right there to the south of Hispaniola, as indicated by those yellows, that represent 25-knot winds. Taking a look at the rain forecast for tomorrow. Not much in the way of rainfall across sections of the Windward and Leeward Islands tomorrow. Maybe sections of Trinidad and Tobago might see more of that rainfall. We can see more rainfall across sections of maybe southern Puerto Rico, Hispaniola, sections of Cuba, sections of the Bahamas, sections of Florida, sections of the Turks and Caicos, Jamaica. Not so much in the way of rainfall, and we're looking for consensus across Belize or the Yucatan Peninsula, but maybe sections of Guatemala, sections of southern Honduras, El Salvador for sure, maybe sections of eastern Nicaragua, Costa Rica, Panama. Definitely Panama gonna be getting in a lot of rainfall, up to an inch being seen right there. Maybe some isolated flash flooding taking place. Colombia, and we can see that both of these maps are showing much of the same thing. And when they're showing the same thing like this, the chance of it actually happening are much higher. Alright, so that's it for today. Thanks for watching.